And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again another day serving as your consumer advocate. It's all about helping you understand your buying decisions and making you just a bit more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, and we got an all-star lineup for you today. Make sure you save our hotline number in your phone, 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline number. You can call or text that line anytime. Any questions, comments, concerns you have with the show, reach out to our hotline, 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
Bookmark our website as well, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you on our website at consumerqb.com. We got a great lineup here in studio today. Making his debut to the Consumer Quarterback Show, we have Ryan representing Eagle LED Lighting. Welcome in, sir.
Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you bringing us all in today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Ryan Benczik, is that right?
Yep.
Awesome.
You got it.
Good stuff. Eagle LED Lighting. In the past, over the years, you've heard John Grant on the show, longtime friend of the program. And John is the regional vice president, I think you said, national vice president of sales. And he's on the road a lot. So you're in studio today going to talk to us about Eagle LED Lighting.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so we're an LED light manufacturer. We're based here in the U.S., and we work with an incredible amount of customers, anywhere from large commercial warehouses, manufacturing, distribution sites, all the way down to residential homes, jewelry stores. Really just helping brighten their day, one LED at a time.
I like it. Car dealerships, all types of businesses that you're helping out there. Awesome, and learn more about the efficiencies in that as well. Heather Lalk in studio as well. Welcome back in.
Thank you. It's great to be here again.
Awesome. Thanks for coming in. Fit to a T.
Yeah, that's my private one-on-one studio in downtown Dunedin. I work with folks, helping them be healthier and happier, one healthy step and bite at a time, I try to say. So I can work with them one-on-one. So today I'm going to talk a little bit more. I'm also a nutritional health coach, and kind of give people an better idea of what that actually is, and go in depth. Also, some other tips and tricks about great tools that I have used in my little test kitchen that help you have healthier and faster cooking.
Nice.
And then also a done-for-you meal plan for those people that want more convenience. So
yeah, I like that. The meal plan's on the go. What else do you have in this world if you don't have your health? That's what I always say. Reach out to Heather Lalk, Fit to a T. And Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Welcome in, sir.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with everybody. I could sell Tampa screens all day long, and we all know how good the company is. But today I would like to present to the homeowner, as an advocate, some of the pitfalls that you have to watch out for in the contracting business. There's a lot of things out there that can get the homeowner into a jam, and I'd like to cover some of them today.
Nice. I like that. Good stuff. Appreciate the updates from Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, a.k.a. the Tin Man, back in studio. And as you know, I'm the owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I want to let you know about a hot listing that we've got here in Tampa Bay. $2 million listing, 4348 Harbor Point Drive in Port Richey. This is a $2 million property, beautiful home, 6,700 square feet, right on the Gulf of Mexico. You have the Gulf of Mexico as your backyard, 6,700 square feet, private palace here in Tampa Bay. You've got 2 guard gates before you even get on the street. Check out the beautiful photography compliments of Fabre Frameworks here in Tampa Bay. Also, visit our website for all of our listings, platinummvpteam.com. And this segment is brought to you by the Golf Cart Depot right here in Tampa Bay. They've got 2 great locations, Land O'Lakes and Clearwater. GolfCartDepot.com. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Talk to Marty and schedule your drive today. You come on in for a test drive. Easy Go, Star, City Car, Timberland carts, personal or commercial use. Make sure you reach out to the Golf Cart Depot. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And there's my Keller Williams red golf cart. I get out there and go door knocking and meeting my neighbors. It's a lot of fun, and you can use it for personal or business use right here in Tampa Bay. Golf Cart Depot. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, let's jump right into it, Ryan. Ryan's in the house. Ryan Benczik with Eagle LED Lighting. So why did you choose Eagle LED LED to start your career?
Man, there's a lot of reasons for it. I started out in the chemical industry and realized that engineering was maybe not what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Long term. I love talking to people, but I didn't really like programming the software side. So I was like, man, like what can I do to help out others in the community? And I figured out, I kind of stumbled on Eagle, and then I was like, this is it's a family atmosphere, and it's a real business that is doing some incredible stuff for customers all around the country. So I was really excited when I first started this thing, because it basically I was able to grow it essentially from nothing. It's you go around, you figure out how to grow a business, and Eagle's been an incredible experience to help grow my own self personally, and our business around in the area and Midwest region.
Very cool. Yeah. So what exactly are you doing for your customers?
Yeah, so we help our customers convert over to LED lighting. And basically what that means is we go to do a walkthrough, and whatever fixtures they have, and things that are in their facility, we'll just convert them over to LEDs. And the real big benefit for them is they get better light, they make better lighting, they have better energy cost savings, and it's a pretty incredible thing to see the transition, like a transformation that happens in some of these places. It is really a game changer for them.
Yeah, and in the business world, when you look at creating efficiencies, you look at how competitive, for example, let's go back to the car dealership situation. You got Mercedes, Audi, you name it. Pick a top 5. When you come in and create efficiencies like this for a company that has this huge car lot, they've got the lighting, they want to have it lit up nicely at night. Mm-hmm. You're creating efficiencies to help them sell more cars, and you're also helping their P&Ls by reducing their overhead and cost.
Oh yeah, and when I say it's like night and day, like we've gone onto sites, and they have these 1,000-watt giant huge fixtures they have in their the parking lots, and then we convert them over to these LED shoe boxes, and it increases their sales because customers are coming by, and they're keeping the lights on at night, and they can literally see what's on their floor. Yep. And that is a total change and transformation for businesses when they are able to convert over, see the savings on energy. And there's other ancillary benefits like being able to sell more cars, or reduced headaches in environments where they're in office spaces, because a lot of these LEDs or the fluorescents have flickering, and they have other sorts of things that happen with them. So when we put LEDs in, all that goes away. There's no more headaches, there's no flickering, and it lasts a long time, sustainable. Like there's a bunch of benefits of moving over to LEDs, and customers are starting to see that.
Now, do you manufacture or just distribute your lights?
We are an actual manufacturer of our lighting, so we do all of our R&D. We got 36 plus engineers on staff. We build everything in-house, and then we ship it, and we install it for our customers too. So we're really truly a turnkey process for any of our customers that we come in contact with, and that's a huge thing for our customers, because when we're coming in the door, like we know that we can help them out in a big way, and they're going to get a huge benefit out, long term from it.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, if you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. We're talking with Ryan Benczik here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and it's all about lighting here for the first segment. We're talking about ways that as a business owner, you can increase your efficiencies, and Ryan, there's also some significant tax advantages as well.
Oh, yeah. So, some places have rebates, and that's kind of a helpful thing, but not everywhere in the country has rebates anymore. So on the tax side, if we do a leasing option, so let's say a project's $50,000, and a customer's like, well, we don't know if we want to put up that much capital towards the project initially. You can lease it with our company, and then you can just pay a monthly amount and have a giant tax benefit from that for your own taxes for their business, because you can use that as an equipment lease for their operation. Another benefit we've got is an EPAC 179D benefit for accountants that are working with businesses, and that basically is 60 cents per square foot that you move over to LEDs. And why that's significant is you got a big space, you can just add that to your taxes at the end of the year and get a pretty large check from having a benefit from that.
I like that. And you think about it from a business perspective, from an accounting perspective. You want to buy assets that appreciate, and you want to lease assets that depreciate. That's why a lot of times you see more and more people going to leasing their car fleets and leasing office computers or office printer, copier, scanners, those types of things. So that makes a lot of sense. Stay with us right here. When we come back, more from our expert contributors in studio. Ryan Benczik's in the house. We got Heather Lalk, Fit to a T, and Fred Muth, a.k.a. the Tin Man, in the house. Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Got a great lineup for you here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Stay with us. Do not touch that dial. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
Thanks for listening to My Daddy's Show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumer.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
This is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because We Beam TV is working over in Tampa with D'Angelo Star.
62, who knew? I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62, who knew?
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember. Ask to me about Florence
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay. Welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections for
Battles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left-hand white, and then they catch the left-hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
as your super connector. We want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, you know, we're one of the only states that don't give them back to life. I've got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step Image. I love that image because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. Mm-hmm. And even as Sisters Connected here, you know, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Buying, selling, or investing, we would love to talk to you. My wife and I own a top team here in Tampa Bay. Matter of fact, number one in our office. We were ranked number one in our office of 475 Keller Williams agents at the Clearwater location, which is one of the number one offices in all of the South region of Florida. And we also have the number one real estate company in the world when it comes to technology. So ranked number one in the office. Real excited about that. Thanks to all of our folks that are involved with helping us in that position. We want to help you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, or investing. We're also hiring agents to our team right now, so we'd love to talk to you about that. This segment is brought to you by Taps Restaurant, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Taps Restaurant over at the International Plaza on Bay Street by the International Mall. Excellent food, very friendly staff, wonderful ambiance as well. Daily happy hours going on over at Taps Restaurant, Bar, and Lounge right here in Tampa Bay. Make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Give them a call, shoot over there, have some lunch, have dinner, have a happy hour time, and it's an excellent time. You'll enjoy it. Say hello to our friends at Taps Restaurant over at the International Plaza. Now, also save the date, Wednesday, March 25th. We're hosting a Tampa Bay's best business networking opportunity. If you are a business owner or sales business owner, get out there and meet with our expert contributors from the show. We're going to have a great turnout. Also, Fabre Frameworks is offering discounted headshots. It's probably time that you updated your headshots there. So reach out. Let them know that the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Taps Restaurant, Wednesday, March 25th, 6:30 to 8:30 over at Taps Restaurant. It's going to be a great speed networking opportunity. Tickets are available on eventbrite.com. All right, so we're back here in studio. Great lineup for you here today. The first segment we heard from Ryan Benczik, Eagled LED Lighting. More from Ryan coming up in our lightning round as well. And we're going to talk health now. We got our health coach in the house, our nutrition coach and expert in that space, Heather Lalk, back in studio. So what are some of the misnomers that you see people happen when they think about health and nutrition? What are some of the top things that come to mind?
I mean, what to eat, when to eat it. What specifically is good for them. We have so many big things about the keto diet and all kinds of other diets.
Right, fads.
Yeah, exactly. And they're all great and wonderful, but they may not be for you, or bits and pieces of them might be great for you. So I decided to become a nutritional health coach because we have a different view on it, kind of way that we deal with it. It's not about one diet or one way of living,
right?
Because everybody's lives and schedules are so different, especially as time goes on and on. So we focus on bio-individuality, the idea that we're all different and have unique dietary differences, and we need to be able to fuel our bodies in many different ways.
Yeah, it's important. Reaching out, people out there listening, if they want to get involved, they want to have a one-on-one session, they want to learn more about the nutrition side. You're located right here, convenient to all of Tampa Bay, right in Dunedin.
Right
awesome
down.
Studio there.
Oh yeah, you take that main road all the way down to the water, and I'm right by the trail. So, on Broadway and Skinner. So we're right by a chiropractic office and a massage therapy office. So we're kind of a whole healthy community over there.
Very cool.
And I do offer someone to come in and do a free consultation, 30 minutes, ask you some different questions and see if it's a right fit. Like I said, we focus on not only the exercise that people do, but also other things come into play. Emotional type things, stress related things, sleep. So those all come into play in the health of individuals. I mean, it comes down to even sometimes we have chronic pain and problems because all of our stress is trapped in different areas, maybe muscles, maybe joints, tendons, things like that.
Yeah, the number one killer in the world, stress.
It is. Yeah.
And so talk to us about meal prep, because a lot of people, again, you're spending a lot of time putting together meals, trying to, plan your week out. Some people do. Some people don't. They just rather run through the fast food place whenever they feel hungry.
Yeah.
But talk to us about what you offer.
Well, I offer the education for people that really want to take the time and really want to learn how to integrate it into their lifestyles, how to cook, make it a fun experience either for a couple or family or a group of friends. And it comes down to utilizing different tools that you can have in your kitchen that make a breeze. It's very easy. I myself am single, and the dogs don't do cooking for me very well, so so I have to find new and improved ways to get that in my lifestyle. So I have found a few different things, like an air fryer that does everything from searing to rotisserie, so you can do meats, you can do fish, and it heats up very quickly. This was one that I found, and I kind of tested it in my kitchen. I've done prime ribs in it, fish in it, chicken wings. I've done cookies, healthy cookies, of course. So it does a lot of different things. And then I also try to do a panini maker. Sometimes we like to have healthy wraps. Like I have gluten-free wraps that I like to have. So every time I don't want to go to the health food store and pay $10, $12 for a wrap.
Right.
So I said, how can I make mine just as delicious but quickly at home? So
Right.
I found this to be a very good piece of equipment to have in the kitchen as well.
Cool. The Cuisine Art Griddler,
Yeah.
I think it said.
Exactly. And I think that people should have that. For my clients, I also can be very specific if they wish. I'll tell them exactly what store they can go to that are healthier, what things they can look for in that store that they may like, things that are whole foods that they have to prepare and cook, and then some things are frozen, but they're still healthy and not loaded with all kinds of additives.
Yeah, that's the key, is knowing what to stay away from. So if you created a top 5 list, stay away from this, what would be the top 5 list of stay away from this?
Soy in this
Soy.
country, because it acts as an estrogen in men and women. It can cause a lot of damage. Sugars. Have sugars.
Huge.
A lot of people don't think, but there's so much hidden sugars in so many things.
They think, I'm going to drink some juice
Yes.
loaded with sugars.
Yeah, exactly. And it kind of was studied, and it's almost addictive as like crack cocaine.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
It sounds funny, but it's true.
Well, I think I've seen those studies and talked about those studies on the show where it has the same reaction in the brain, kind of like trying to take a smartphone away from a teenager. Right?
Yeah.
A kid, a 12 or 13-year-old kid.
Oh, yeah. It
Very
is
similar.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's getting harder and harder for people. They're like, I just can't stop eating this. Well, that's true, because they add additives into the foods that we consume that make us want it more and more. So it has an addictive property to it. So people have to understand that. It's not all them. It is all the food that we're being shoved in our faces.
I saw a documentary as well where they're talking about making them that much more crunchy. They have some of these different chips they come out with now. It's like, wow, that thing's like super crunchy and it's super thin, and then they sell you less in the bag. That's what gets me with these manufacturers. The bag's this big and it's got that much stuff in it.
Yeah, and think about it. Should a potato chip really taste like beer or whatever?
Right.
Really don't think
Dill
those things should
pickle
go.
or KC Masterpiece, different flavor type stuff.
And I think the other one too is majorly sodium. Many prepared foods, meats, seasonings, all of that have the sodium in them, as well as hidden gluten and wheat products as fillers.
So far we have the top 3 of the top 5 are S's. So you got soy, sugar, sodium. What else we got? Round out the top 5 here. If you stay away from gluten,
or wheat. If some people have wheat allergies like myself, and then it includes gluten, and then some people just for gluten. And the unfortunate part about it is we're not allergic sometimes to the actual product, like peanuts or wheat itself. It's what they're being sprayed with, that like glyphosate, that we are allergic to or have a sensitivity to.
Yeah, I like that. We're talking with Heather Lalk here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, integrative nutritional health coach here in Tampa Bay, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. So I like this one. It says, if you know anyone who doesn't want to cook anymore, grocery shop anymore, clean plates, do basically home chores around the kitchen, make healthy eating more convenient and healthy. That's one of the things you can help them do with this meal prep program that you offer.
I did. I actually finally found a company that was started by health coaches and their trainers, and they've gone the gamut. So all of these are very, very good products that come in at 4 or 6 ounces, or you can get more for the protein. You pick your carb, you pick your vegetable. They're portion control. They don't have any seasonings. They have no sauces on them, so you can customize them that way for you. And that's what I liked about it, because especially for someone like me, I have a lot of allergies and sensitivities. All the other meals that I could order had all kinds of sauces and things that I had to be real scared and afraid that it might make me sick. So these come freeze packed as well, next day to your door.
Nice.
Or wherever you want them to go, and they heat up in 90 minutes. So it's 90 seconds.
90 seconds.
Your eyes went.
Yeah,
but 90 seconds. So it's quick and easy, and it also helps people as they're learning to see visually portion control. This is how much, that, and then they can say, oh, well, I can eat multiple more meals per day because I'm not consuming that much in one sitting. And it's something that it's small enough that they can quickly eat between a meeting or work or what have you. So people really need to realize that it's what fuels them is
Yes.
going to make them feel good or it's going to feel bad.
Yeah, you're going to feel sluggish versus feeling energetic. You're going
Right.
to have nutritious foods versus non-nutritious foods that don't have the vitamins, minerals, nutrients that you need. So reach out if you'd like to have Heather Lalk sit down with you, a consultation, or even put together a meal plan. I think that's a big call to action right now. Call or text 813-670-7372 and call or text our hotline at 813-670-7372. We'll put you in touch with Heather Lalk, integrative nutritional health coach here on a friend of the program on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Meal plans are going to make you just that much more able to stay on that plan and have that stick-to-itiveness that you need.
Yeah, successful. I mean, even me, they come prepared just the way I would make it in my own kitchen, or even when I was competing in bodybuilding. So then you can add if you like condiments. I like condiments, unfortunately. I miss those when I couldn't have them. But there's healthier options as well.
Yeah.
So even for me, if a couple of meals I can skip prepping for that week, trying to run a business and train and do all the things that I do, then that's a really help for me.
Super important to have that plan, have the plan in place, execute the plan, and start small. If you're starting, we talked about on the previous shows where maybe start with 15-20 minute light walk. You start with a light walk, then that turns into a jog, then that turns into you're in great shape, you're able to shed pounds. So reach out to Heather Lalk here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors on the website at consumerqb.com. And when we come back, more from our expert contributors. We got our lightning round coming up where we're going to give you some top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom from all of our expert contributors here in studio. Coming up, Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, and we're going to talk a little about real estate here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with the enclosure star.
62 who knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62 who knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember anymore. Ask Anthony about
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50+ show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step Image. I love that image because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
Listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we're so happy that you stick with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Join us every day, 4 o'clock drive time, AM 860 The Answer. Got our weekend show on Sunday mornings on 102.5 The Bone, and we also syndicate our content to Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, and 85 other outlets. So we'd love for you to connect with us on social media, join us online, and enjoy the conversation and jump in as well at our hotline at 813-670-7372. Call or text 813-670-7372. A couple of hot listings here. 6919 Makers Way in Apollo Beach. Great opportunity to own a beautiful open floor plan property, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, no backyard neighbor at 6919 Makers Way in beautiful Tampa Bay. Hot real estate listing. PlatinumMVPteam.com. Also, 8325 West Hillsborough Avenue. This is a $490,000 listing that we have. It's a great opportunity to own a business. If you're a business owner and you're leasing space in the town and country area or Tampa area, check out this building. 8325 West Hillsborough Avenue. It's got a huge conference center, conference room. It's got a kitchen in there, multiple offices, great opportunity, and it's completely fenced in. It's got an awesome camera system as well, security and camera system. Check out our listings at PlatinumMVPteam.com. PlatinumMVPteam.com. Somewhere sunny and 75. And this segment is brought to you by the Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. The beautiful Bilmar Beach Resort over on Gulf Boulevard, Treasure Island. Check out the hotel right on the beach, 2 pools on site, Sloppy Joe's Beach Bar and Restaurant right on the beach, and it's a great place to go have a business trip, a local staycation, a wedding, and there's music nightly now as well. Lots of amenities at the Bilmar Beach Resort. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Book directly and let Clyde Smith, the general manager, know that the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, let's jump right into it. We've got in studio today, we heard from Ryan Benczik with Eagle LED Lighting, Heather Lalk as well in studio, fit to a T. More coming from them in our lightning round coming right up. And now we're going to talk with Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
If you call me the Tin Man, I'm going to make the statement, if I were selling tin, I'd be driving a Bentley, not a Buick. A little different in price there,
Yeah, the Tin Man.
The Tin Man. Anyhow, what I've experienced in this business, of course, it's been a lot of years. If the homeowner purchases the home, I've seen in many cases where I go in to sign up for the screen room, and they cannot provide a boundary survey. When I was practicing real estate, at that point, if you closed on a home and if you carried a mortgage, a survey was mandatory. Is that still the case today?
It's not mandatory, I don't think. I mean, sometimes the title companies might make you, but if you're paying cash, I think.
No, I'm saying if you carry a mortgage.
Oh, if you carry a mortgage, yeah, I would say the lender most likely is going to have that endorsement that they're going to need.
Yeah, so quite often, of course, the homeowner is carrying a mortgage, and there is no legal document in there for a boundaries survey. So I have to, contact the title company, and eventually I get it. But the homeowner, I guess they're not aware that if they look at their settlement sheet, they paid $400 or so for the authentic boundary survey.
Right.
And a lot of times they don't get it. So that's being a consumer advocate show. That's something that I'd like to bring to the table.
I like that.
And quite often I will receive from the homeowner what looks like a reduced scale fax copy. This is not an authentic document.
Right.
So they need that. They have to have the authentic to scale boundary survey when they close. And I just advise people to please make sure that you get that. 50% of them right now are not providing the boundary surveys.
And you can call the title closing company. The title company should have one on record. And you can also, on the survey, if you have a bad copy or something, you can call that company that did the work and have them send you a copy of it.
That's correct. I will receive an email copy so I can pull a permit, which is fine. But the homeowner, they really need their authentic, sealed the original document.
Right, exactly. Have that.
If there's ever a dispute with where the boundary is, they're pretty much dead in the water if they don't have the authentic, sealed document.
Right.
Correct?
Yeah, that makes sense. And then also one thing that they might want to do is have their previous title policy as well. It looks like kind of like a certificate, because you can take that to the title company, and then they only have to research back to that date. So then instead of doing a complete research of the history of the property all the way back to the inception of the neighborhood or when it was vacant land, etc., they can research back to that date, save you a couple $100 on your title insurance.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I'll have to put that in my bag of tricks.
Yeah, there you go. Add that
when we sell the job, we want to get the permit ASAP, and a lot of times it's held up because we can't get the correct boundary survey.
Right.
Which brings me to another point for the homeowners, who a lot of people will purchase the pool prior to the cage and anticipate putting a cage on within a year or two. And my advice to that homeowner is two things. Number one, make sure that the pool deck sets within the correct setbacks, because you can pour the deck right up to the lot line and practically anywhere. However, I cannot put the cage right up to the lot line. The setback pertains to the cage and not necessarily the pool deck. You can't imagine how many times we go, especially in South Tampa, they want the cage and the deck is poured right up to the lot line, and it's a no-go.
So what's the remedy there? Do you have to try to attach it to the top of the concrete, the cement, or is that too difficult?
If you set it back, I had one, for example, it was exactly 5 feet to the water's edge, and it's a 5-foot setback. Now I have to bring the cage back to 5 feet, right to the water's edge.
Yep.
That is not a pretty sight. And there is some concern about liability for people who are in the pool that have to get out quick, and the cage is right there. There's no deck for them to get up on. And then typically at that point, if it's a paver deck, there's no footer at that area, so I can't put the cage up regardless.
Right, because it's not going to be secure.
That's correct.
Right.
We have to have a concrete footer underneath the pavers, which brings me to another avenue of this concern, is people will buy the pool, it'll have a paver deck, and then we go out 2 to 3 years later, there's no footer underneath. So when they purchase their pool, they really should make sure that they pay extra to get that footer installed underneath the pavers, and the footer has to be engineered and has to be permitted as well. So these are all things that a lot of homeowners don't realize, and we see this 30-40% of the time on some of the cages on pools that have been there for quite some time, and it's sad because we can't get we can't get the permit to pull to install the cage, and it's very hard to put the footer in afterwards, although we can, but it's very expensive to do that.
Now, Fred, would you please, for the layperson that might not understand what a footer is, we're talking with Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. What exactly is a footer?
I'm sorry. I thought the world knew what a footer, because we talk about it 5 times a day. Concrete footer would be a concrete base underneath of the pavers. And in the state of Florida, typically, it's an 8-inch wide by 8-inch deep block of concrete that's poured with a number 5 rebar steel going all the way through. It adds support so that the cage has something to set on.
Yes.
There are a lot of people that ask me to set the cage directly on the pavers without the footer, and there's no way that we can do that. We wouldn't do it anyway, because a 60-mile-an-hour wind, the whole thing's going to go away.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the story on a footer.
Yeah, the footers are important. It's part of the process. Let's talk about the process as well. Consultations, you guys sit down, you have an educational, instructive type of a consultation with the clients.
That's the best part. That's what I enjoy the most, especially when they come from the Northeast. They have no clue what a lanai is. A lanai could be anything. They come to Florida, they want a lanai. And I sit down and I discuss what they want and their options. And then basically most of the consultation lasts 20 or 30 minutes. It's a fairly simple procedure as far as explaining. Then it comes down to the exact location where it's going to set on the site. percolate, and of course we have to be very wary, very aware of the ground elevations and where the water's going to go if we pour concrete. All of this, I've talked about that so many times.
Yeah.
And in the city of Tampa, especially South Tampa, there's an equation that we have to follow now, where they will limit us to how much concrete we can actually pour because we're taken away from the percolation, the percolation area, which is important. And I like to sell the product, but I respect the fact that there's a lot of building going on and the water has to go somewhere. And what's the highest point down here in South Tampa? So 8, 9, 10 feet above sea level.
Right.
Once it rains, all the streets are flooded, of course, because nothing's percolating as it did in the past.
Yeah.
So that's a big concern. We can take the boundary survey. We go back to the survey. We calculate the amount of concrete that's already on the site, and then of course the overall size of the lot, and we formulate the equation from there, and we know basically how big we can build this product.
Yeah.
I've had them already where they met the criteria, but the city requested a 2-year period after the CO, certificate of occupancy, that there were no complaints from any of the neighbors based on where the water went.
Wow.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's kind of leaning into the decision of how much growth can we have. We just surpassed Texas as the number one state in the country where people are moving to. And that speaks volume. Texas is a huge state. Florida has a lot less land. And other than the ridge line that runs straight down the middle of the state, if you ever drive through Orlando and some of those middle areas, you notice that it's a noticeably higher elevation there in the middle of the state versus the areas like, for example, South Beach, Miami, which is already battling with what you're just describing, percolation, sea level rise. What's the end game here? What's the long-term play, right?
Well, they did put the moratorium on land use development in South Hillsborough that I know of. I don't have all the specs on that, which I feed off of new homes. However, I appreciate the fact that they did that because I live in Hillsborough and I can't drive around anywhere.
Exactly.
There's just way too much traffic for the infrastructure.
Yep.
So basically, I believe what's going to happen is they're going to have the infrastructure ready to go prior to changing the land use development, and which makes sense. So it's going to slow the building down, but that's okay. That's fine with me. If you can't get there, if I can't drive to the job site, I can't sell it.
Yeah.
I don't say that trying to be a comic. I say that out of reality. People say to me, "What's the worst part of your job?" Getting there.
Traveling.
Yeah, try to get there.
Driving in Tampa Bay. It seems like more companies need to go to a split plan if they can, instead of all the employees being there by 9 a.m. If some can come a little earlier, a little later, and I know that doesn't work for everybody, but it's almost what we need to do.
I like the idea of double decking these highways. They're double decking Gandy, which is great.
Exactly.
And I, in my mind, I wish they would double deck 301 from the Selman down to Big Bend.
Yeah.
Because that's a nightmare.
Yep.
301's clogged up. 75 is clogged up, and they could typically do that at some point. Yep. So Chuck Henson, if you're listening,
Pinellas
let's
County
get on
as
this
well.
one, right?
Pinellas County, number one, second densely populated county other than Dade City now. In the state of Florida. All right, stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. More from our expert contributors. We got our lightning round coming up as well. We got Ryan Benczik in the house, Eagled LED lighting, Heather Lalk, Fit to a T, and Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. And we have a feel-good story of the day. Firefighters spent their day shoveling snow for strangers. Find out about that and more from our expert contributors right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com. Ian Beck.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
This is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with D'Angelo Star.
62, who knew? I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62, who knew?
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember.
to be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
as your super connector. We want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, you know, we're one of the only states that don't give them back. Right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that image because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
You're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, you know, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We want to help you win in your real estate business, buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you. And the Consumer Quarterback Show, of course, we want to help you win in 80 different categories. Consumer advocate content here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, making you just a bit more street smart every day right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And this segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brothers Easy Moving, and I can tell you from first-hand experience, they are a first-class organization. They did a great job with our family's move over to our new lake house, and I highly recommend Brothers Easy Moving. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show, and they're highly ranked on Google, 4.6 rating, highest in Tampa Bay, A rating, Better Business Bureau, A rating on Angie's List, 4.5 on Yelp, and they've also won the Super Service Award multiple times. Big shout out to Gary Thacker and his team over at Brothers Easy Moving. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. And every day we're going to tell you something positive in our feel-good story of the day. We got a good one here.
Tell me something good.
So first of all, shout out to all of our firefighters, first responders, veterans, first responders, military. We really appreciate all that you do. We offer special discounts and incentives as well from the Platinum MVP team, a quarter to a half a point discount rebate back to you. So we'll help pay your closing costs if you're buying or selling with us. But this is an interesting story out of Idaho. A surveillance camera on an Idaho Falls home captures firefighters performing acts of kindness after a snowstorm. The video shows an Idaho Falls ambulance parked on the street with several firefighters shoveling snow off driveways and sidewalks. One resident was amazed at what he witnessed and sent the footage to East Idaho News. Quote, I actually thought my wife was the one that did it, and she thought I did it, Eric Nelson said. We didn't realize until I had thanked her until later that night. She said she thought it was totally me. Totally surprised. Idaho Falls Fire Department spokesperson Carrie Hammond says she had no idea that firefighters with the department were doing this, but isn't surprised. Quote, they're always doing stuff like that, Hammond said. Nelson said he's thankful for the firefighters who were ready to perform an important job in the community and who would take time to serve. So feel-good story of the day. Awesome firemen there in our great country in Iowa as well. Idaho, rather. All right, excellent lineup for you today, Ben. We got Ryan Benczik here in studio, Eagled LED lighting, Heather Lalk, Fit to a T, and Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. It's time for our lightning round.
The lightning round.
Wow! I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, here we go. Top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Heather Lalk, fit to a T.
Take small steps, but be very specific. Don't just say, I'm going to eat 3 more, or I'm going to eat a couple more meals a day, and be more, obvious about that. Say, I'm going to eat every 3 hours. I'm going to add 3 extra meals per day, for instance. Be consistent. 21 days to make a habit, so be consistent with yourself. Use a support system. Try to be around like-minded people that have the same drive and desires that you have. Even use friends and family. And then so celebrate your successes. You should be proud of yourself that you actually achieved a goal, so give yourself a nice reward.
Yeah, I like that.
Keeps you going.
I like that. Good stuff. It reminds me of the SMART planning method, specific, measurable. You want to make sure your goals are in a position where they're going to be achievable, and it's something that you're going to be able to follow through on.
Right, exactly, and it's a journey. It's not, it's not the goal all the time. It's the journey that you should appreciate.
Exactly.
So, but I also am going to be offering for February to the end of February 3 private one-on-one sessions, personal training and/or health coaching for $99. It's almost a $200 savings for everybody.
So 3 for $99.
That is correct.
Wow, that's awesome. 33 a piece.
Yep.
And that's awesome. So reach out to the Consumer Quarterback Show. We'd love to, put you in touch with Heather Lalk. 813-670-7372. Take her up on that awesome offer. 813-670-7372. You can call or text that number as well. All right, our lightning round continues. Ryan Benczik, Eagled LED Lighting. What say you, sir?
Well, at the end of the day, our customers want someone they can trust in the LED world. There's a bunch of LEDs out there, and with Eagled, you're going to get a manufacturer, you're going to get someone that'll install, do a whole turnkey process. We do free consultations for our customers, so we'll do a walkthrough and share, what kind of savings they can experience, tax write-offs they'll get, and benefits that they'll have for it. So at the end of the day, someone that just wants to brighten up their space, save on energy costs, have some pretty significant tax benefits from it, they're going to put themselves in a world of wonders long term down the road. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I like that. Awesome, good stuff. Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum.
Hey, Ryan, I had a question for you. We talked about light-emitting diode, LED. Thank you for educating me on that.
My pleasure.
I've wondered, when you do a conversion and you obviously go from fluorescent to LED, when the bulbs come out, the old fluorescent, is there issues with disposing of the fluorescent bulbs in today's world?
So there's different regulations in each state. I'm not sure about in the state of Florida, but in the state of Indiana, you do have to properly dispose of them because there's like dangerous chemicals inside.
Sure.
So for Eagled, we bring in companies that specifically are geared for that type of work. So they'll tear out fixtures, they'll put them in spaces that they'll recycle the metals, and then all of the other tubes and everything that has the hazardous chemicals in it, they'll dispose of in proper ways. So yes, there are.
I've often wondered.
It can be problematic.
When I change a bulb at the house, it's not an LED. What am I supposed to do with it?
Mm-hmm. Well, for small bulbs like the incandescents and the screw-in bulbs you have in your home, those are not going to have enough chemicals in it to really have a big harm to the environment. But when you're throwing out 4-foot tubes or 8-foot tubes,
what do I do?
You want to make sure you get to the right person that can recycle and dispose of them.
My neighbor.
In a responsible sense.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Recycle them if you can.
Yeah. So back to Tampa Screens and Aluminum, and I make the statement. I've been working with them since 2010, and they're a very well-oiled machine. The support that I get as a guy out there in the trenches, I'm a salesman, I'm an estimator. We have people in our office that really know how to put out a fire. The girl that I take my hat off to is Diana. There is nothing comes across her plate that she can't handle, and she handles it very well, and she handles it with a smile. And boy, that means a lot to a guy that's out there working with customers.
Yeah.
Because it's Murphy's Law. Something's going to go wrong somewhere along the line. It's just a matter of how you put the fire out.
Yeah, I like that. Good stuff. Tampa Screens and Aluminum, Fred Muth. All right, so today for my lightning round tip, I'm going to take a page out of Tony Robbins' playbook, and he talks about the triad, which is physiology, focus, language, and meaning. Okay, so these are things that are going to determine how you feel and how you let emotions take control of your life in some cases. So the triad, starting with number one, is physiology. How you use your physical body, such as breath, posture, and the movement of your body. So you'll find, like Navy SEALs, for example, Navy SEALs utilize breathing techniques where they're bringing in tons of air and oxygen into their body. So that's a way that you want to think about changing your state. You can change your state just by utilizing your physiology. Number two is back to focus. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. You're going to feel that more strongly on what you focus on. Are you focusing on the problems that you have, or focusing on things that have happened in the past, or are you focusing on things that you can correct and things that you can improve in the future? So that's number two. And then number three is language and meaning. So this was interesting, is because as soon as we put words to an experience, then it changes the meaning in our minds, right? So multiple people you can go to a concert with 3 or 4 or 5 of your friends, and one person can say, oh, that was the best concert ever. Oh, the next one might say, I didn't like that concert. The other one says, oh, that was a complete waste of time. We shouldn't have went to that concert, right? So the language and meaning that we prescribe or describe that event with, that's going to determine how it affects our mentality and our focus and our internal conversation that goes on in our minds, our dialogue internal. So that internal dialogue is something that's really going to help us either achieve success or have more problems, and attracting those problems into our life. So make sure you focus on those things that you can control and be a force for good in the community. Those are things that you can do when you're in that position. So language, the triad is physiology, focus, language, and meaning here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So, hey, another great show. I want to thank our expert contributors. If you want anything, if you're a business owner out there or homeowner and you want to look at Eagled LED lighting, reach out to the Consumer Quarterback Show. They're also online, eag-led.com. And you can reach out as well. We'll put you in touch with Ryan and his team. And also Heather Lalk, Fit to a T, right here in Tampa Bay. Excellent stuff, good stuff on health and nutrition, ways that you can live a better life and be more healthy. And Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Thanks for coming in again. Another great show. I want to thank our expert contributors, our team behind the scenes putting the show together. And, of course, we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness, something as simple as packing up food or clothing, carrying it with you to and from your commute, hand it to that person that you see in need. Be a force for good in the community. Lots of ways you can donate blood, donate time, and swing a hammer for Habitat for Humanity. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.